Hey guys, I'm that boy Kyrie here, and this is going to be a little short video about the causes of the French and Indian War. Alright, so I had posted an earlier video about the effects of the French and Indian War and how it helped to cause the revolution of America. And something that I left out was what caused the French and Indian War, which is actually pretty important too. So basically what had happened was there was some disputed territory to the west of the Appalachian Mountains. What happened was, all the people who were indentured servants and became yeomen, they were all like, yo, we want more land, yay. And so a bunch of people wanted to expand west, and a couple of Englishmen started to settle west of the Appalachian Mountains. And the French were already over there, and they had a bunch of forts, like Fort Duquesne. So anyways, Fort Duquesne, I think it's called. I don't know how to say it. I'm not French. That was one of the forts that they put up. They had a bunch of other forts running from north to south, and it was to establish their fur trade. The French had a fur trade that they were trying to protect over there. And so they naturally did not want the Americans to come over and, start to mess up with their fur trade. And you have to understand that these wars with Native Americans have been going on for years and years, ever since the Metacom's War. And there was a bunch of wars all over the world that Britain was fighting. They had King William's War, they had King George II's War, and they had everybody else's war too. And so while the colonials were demanding to go westward, the British Empire did not want to do this. The main reason why was because wars cost money, and Britain was already in a lot of debt, and they had very, very high taxes. Okay? And so Prime Minister Henry Pelham stated that in order for a war to be justified, it would have to be absolutely necessary, because they just did not have the money to go to another war. So in 1754, before the war began, there was a bunch of people trying to stop the war from happening. There was the Albany Congress, who didn't do anything, they weren't effective enough. And, Benjamin Franklin had proposed a couple of plans to try and prevent war, like setting up some delegates to manage Indian policy. But ultimately this failed. Alright, so in 1754, there was an expedition led by Colonel George Washington. Before his days as a general, he was actually in the British military. He was appointed as major because he had the hookup. Anyway, so George Washington had led an expedition to Fort Duquesne. He got captured in 1754. This led the British to demand for more war, and so eventually by 1755 there were some attacks. They attacked Fort Duquesne or whatever, and yeah, so the English won, but not for long. There was a bunch of fighting, and boom, that's how the 7 Years' War started. That's it for today's episode. As always, I am that boy Kyrie here. Please remember to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at that boy Kyrie. Peace and goodbye.